Myth number one, masters of the craft make the best leaders. You got promoted because you were great at the work, logistics, operations, planning, whatever it is. Here's what nobody tells you on that day. The skills that made you excellent at the craft are mostly irrelevant to leading people. A lot of research shows us that 75% of long term success comes from people skills. So, the learning here, don't spend too long doubling down on technical skills. Also, learn how what you do impacts the rest of the company, and then take projects and roles that get you a range of experience in other functions. Myth number two, work life balance is a vital goal. Early career, a disproportionate and yes, imbalanced investment in work is how you build options later. Right now, you don't have any leverage from which to ask for all this balance that a younger generation has been sold that should be attainable, even. And you shouldn't want much balance to begin with. Go get a lot of hard won experience early and at mid level career stages, and then you can seek more balance in a life. Balance is a long game. Play it like one. Myth number three, assume positive intent. Great starting point, terrible permanent policy. You assume positive intent once with something funky, maybe twice, and then you watch and you be careful. Naivete is not a leadership virtue. Extending unlimited benefit of the doubt to a proven pattern, that's not called generosity, it's called avoidance. Lie number four, and let's call it a lie. Welcome to Acme Inc., your new family. Ford Motor Company started this one back in 1914. They had a department called the Sociology Department that sent inspectors to workers' homes. They checked your living conditions, they interviewed the neighbors. Your payment of $5 a day depended on passing these inspections. And here the control was the point. It was dressed up as care, but it's about control. The team, an organization, is a more honest version. High standards, real care, conditional on performance, both directions. A family doesn't restructure you out in a down year. Stop buying this line and work for the honest agreement that is in place with an employer. It's a temporary relationship, as it should be. Myth number five, the strongest leaders cover all the bases. Competency models promise a complete human, but what 360 feedback actually does is deliver a rubric for disappointment. Nobody scores high in everything on these things, and nobody should. Know what you're great at. Know what pays the best career and job dividends to get better at. Group these skills together and then go after developing those. And then at work, trade these skills for skills on the teams on which you sit. This is a better plan and a more realistic one than trying to, in vain, to rise all your ratings on that 18 competency 360. Myth number six, depth over breadth wins the game. First, read David Epstein's book on this if you're curious. It's called Range. He teaches us that in complex, fast changing environments and in a career, breadth beats depth any day. The specialized early model works in golf. It works for Tiger Woods. It does not work in operations, in software engineering even, and it does not work in leadership. The person who connects across functions outperforms the narrow specialist every time. And if your early career, resist the pressure to double down on specialization. Myth number seven, culture fit is critical. Okay, here's the big problem here. The better you get at hiring for culture fit, the more efficiently an organization clones its blind spots. So don't hire for culture fit. Instead, hire for the 3 to 4 things that break the work if they're missing. This is the organization's very core talent values. Mine are critical thinking skills, hunger, and humility. I hire for those. So hire then for diversity. This is the only way to stay innovative while also displaying your organization's uniqueness in a really crowded marketplace. Myth number 8, radical candor solves everything. You've read the books, just be direct and fiercely candid. Most feedback in practice, though, is the please be more like me kind. Now, don't avoid having the hard conversations, that's a problem in and of itself, but being blunt only works if you have all the information and every perspective. And how often is that true? Almost never. Trust has to exist, before feedback lands. And that means a mature feedback conversation where you gather more information and perspective, and then you earn the right to act as a solutions partner. Make consistent deposits in the trust bank means more openness to making withdrawals when it really matters. So keep making those deposits. Myth number 8, noise plus noise plus noise equals signal. Your company's 360 is about 25% accurate. On its best day, it might be 40% accurate inside of an organization. The logic goes like this. Ask enough people on a 5-point survey and the truth will show up. It doesn't. Strategic thinking means something different from person to person. The other issue from research on this has to do with something called idiosyncratic rater effect. And that means that the ratings say more about the rater than the person being rated. The only real alternatives you have here are an expensive interview-based 360, not likely to happen, and a lot of direct observation from various people, or an AI platform generating hundreds of data points that can approximate a real signal. I know something about that because I helped build one. Know what your performance data is actually measuring and push back when it isn't measuring what it claims to. Your promotion hinges on this. Myth number 10, bring your whole self to work. Best one for last. All right, good intention, I guess. Psychological safety, sure. Less code switching, more inclusion. These are all worth wanting, but authenticity without judgment is just oversharing with a virtue label. The actual skill is selective, purposeful disclosure. Knowing what to share with whom and when. This is all called persona management, and it's far more mature than bringing all of you to every context. It's not appropriate, and it hurts the brand you need to be working on strengthening in a workplace. You're seeking professional range, not identity verification. Right? These are the top 10. Hope some of them have landed. Might not be right, but a career, 30 years of a career, has earned the right to have a position on some of these things, if not some experience-based snarkiness. Good luck out there.